Hey guys, welcome to Pop 401 Podcast, your weekly podcast for all things nerd culture. I am Rudolph. Actually, I am Ireland, and this is my co host.
Carlos, what's up, y'all?
What's up? Nobody can see your Christmas pajamas.
My Christmas pajamas are
This
hidden
is,
away.
yeah, like this is supposed to be a Christmas, like, chillax lounge stream, and then now people can see your snowflakes. Not like literal snowflakes, but you know what I mean. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. We actually, I put out there on Instagram some fan questions. You guys seem to like this. So we wanted to do this. We did fan questions. You guys had questions. We have answers. Unfortunately, Loki also thinks that we are doing a card stream.
Oh, he's back.
Come on, buddy. We have a stream mascot.
Sorry, buddy, we're not cracking packs yet, so.
Not yet, but I am definitely going to put him in Christmas attire. Come on. We'll share a leg. There we go. Welcome to the stream, Loki.
Loki is in the stream, ladies and gentlemen.
The god of destruction.
Yes.
And chaos.
There are no packs to crack yet,
No.
sir.
No, but he wants it. So we have 4 questions we're going to go over for you guys that you guys submitted in. So you ready? Without further ado.
Let's do it.
Let's crack into it. All right. We've got from Dark Prince Cosplays asked, if Pokemon suddenly became real, which starter would you want and why?
Charmander.
So you're going OG starters.
I'm going
then.
OG. Charmander.
You would go Charmander?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Why would you go Charmander?
Because he turns into Charizard. And Charizard is amazing. That is why. Have you seen the new Charizards? They're fucking so cool.
Charizard's overrated.
He's amazing. I love Charizard.
Okay, well, fire
That's
type.
why.
Fire type would be
Yeah,
awesome.
fire type Pokemon, man. Come on, let's go.
Fire type.
Why would you not go with Charmander? Charmander's like the easy option. He's like the best fire Pokemon.
Right? Well, I mean, I love fire. The pyrotechnic in me loves fire as well.
Torch some shit. Let's go.
However, I think I'd have to go Squirtle. For the simple fact of it is, not like that. The simple fact of it is just because I do so much stuff with plants. Like when I do like
Squirtle eats plants, right?
Gosh,
So
no,
why
but
would
he can water them with like.
So you'd use your
Bubble
starter
Jet.
use your starter Pokemon
Yeah, man.
to water
He'd
your
be
plants.
my garden hose. But if you think about it though, like it would definitely help out in the garden because I'm always doing I'm doing the cross germination of like doing my own plants like naturally. Like I don't do like GMO hyped plants, but I do just cross pollination of different seeds and blends. So that's a lot to water. So he could help me with that.
Yeah, and I can bring Charmander over when we want to burn some trash. You know,
Just
just like
sizzle them.
good old school burn trash.
Here, burn trash, light it up.
Burn trash. Let's go. Let's have a bonfire.
This couldn't get any more Orange County sitting right here. I've got Loki. I've got a cat in my lap. I'm dressed in this hot pink with reindeers and chimneys and these gaudy Betsy Johnson fantastic pink glittery snowflake earrings, and I've got a cat in my lap.
Just imagine how useful Charmander would be.
How much would he? What?
Just so useful.
Yeah, he could just sizzle all your enemies.
I'm like, yeah, I
You
need
could have
to
campfires.
cook some steaks
he
real
can light up
quick.
the grill.
Just light up the grill.
He's your
If I
cooking
don't have
buddy.
a grill, I can just have him cook it for me.
I think that would be like the ultimate partner in crime because he could help cook your food. He could go burn your enemies. You could take over things.
He'd keep you warm.
He could keep you warm.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
burns
he's a
hot.
built-in heater.
Mm-hmm. And then when he evolves and he becomes Charizard.
Okay, well,
Fucking
look at
handles some
Blastoise.
business.
Come on.
Come on now.
Well, okay.
Charizard for the win. There's a reason why
A
Charizard
lot of
cards
people,
are so
a
popular.
lot of people are gonna say that that's basic as fuck, but whatever. Look at this.
I like the OG Pokemons. Come on now.
Loki is so depressed we're not doing cards.
He's very, very depressed. He's staring off into the wilderness. He's like, I dream
It's not a
of
catnip
Pokemon
pie,
cards.
right? So there you go. Wow, man,
That was no.
that's a good question.
I'm sticking
though.
to it. Yep.
But would you? I guess Pokemon's not well. Pikachu wasn't really considered a starter.
No.
He was just like your buddy that you got.
Yep.
So look at this. This cat is so depressed right now. Look at him. This is pathetic.
He's done. He's like, no cards.
That's a
for
really
me."
good question though. All right. Tane99.
Hey Tane, what's up, man?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Has a question. Wants to know has a fictional character death in TVs, movies, etc. ever put you in your feels? And if so, what was it? I'm trying to think if there was like anything that was that traumatic. Well, at an early age, I had like such an early introduction into death. So it wasn't like as traumatic for me as it should have been as a kid, if that makes sense. It's like, what are you doing this weekend? Going to another family funeral, like it was kind of morbid in a sense. I laugh about it now, but that's just dark trauma. I think what really though, probably like The Lion King.
Oh.
Yeah. When like
Mufasa
Scar
dies.
just like let go of Mufasa and like just dropped him into the sea of those like antelope.
Wildebeests.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean, I felt bad on that,
Long
at that point.
live the king.
Long live the
and
king.
Just drops him. And I was just like, he just did that. Like that was pretty traumatizing.
So and also it's TV and movies too. Were there any movies where you were just like, holy shit, what? Or like a TV series that...
I don't really watch much TV series, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think.
I think the Walking Dead series.
I never saw it.
I mean, that was just they did a
constantly.
really wild job of just killing off a lot of the cast members that you got really attached to.
Oh, did George R. Martin help with that as well? Because I'm sure Robert Kirkman had some influence from there. But like Game of Thrones, they killed those off pretty fucking quick.
Yeah. Well, that was the one that for me for books was that when they killed off Eddard Stark.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, the head of the king just got whacked? He got beheaded? What the fuck just happened there?
But the one character that I will say, because it was the one TV series show that like there was constantly death or there was constantly like surprise thing. I want to say I did cheer when Joffrey Baratheon got it. I was like, woo, yeah,
You're
get
like,
that bastard.
I got in my feels of joy. You're like, yes.
I was so stoked for that one. I was like, Karma's a motherfucker. Choke on that one. So yeah, but I mean, like, I really don't watch.
What about when Ash died? Ash Ketchum.
I mean, that was. pretty sad.
That's pretty fucking sad, right?
But like I figure it's like one of those words, like you're Naruto or like One Piece, like it's gone on for so long.
Yeah.
You're like, it's only a matter of time.
Like, put him out of his misery.
I was like, did he get to be the very best? Like the best there ever was. Like I feel like. That's great. But I mean, that's such a great question, though. I mean, most people will be like the death of Superman, or they'll be like, there's just like, there's all that stuff, like comic book related things like that. But like, for me, it was just.
Yeah, is that? I mean, the Logan, when Logan died, when Wolverine died.
That sucked.
That one was
that
was pretty powerful
that
too. In Logan,
sucked.
That was like, ooh.
Yeah, that sucked.
He died.
I didn't. We're just, and you leave in the theater going like,
he's dead. Fuck. Right? I mean,
how is this possible?
He's Wolverine. He doesn't die.
How did he just die?
Right? That one was.
He regenerates. Like, how did he just die?
Yeah, that was pretty epic. That one was pretty epic.
Yeah, I would say later in life it would have been that, but I was like, oh man. All right.
Good question.
I know, it's such a good question. We love when you guys ask us random questions because it makes us think.
Yeah. Because
there's things that like we've maybe seen or that we just kind of like backshelved it for whatever reason. So this is really good. Thank you guys for doing this, like sending this to us. Lobo13 wants to know, what would you say is something others don't know about you that you think might be obvious? I have a lot. I'm like, should we sit down?
You go first on this one.
I'm gay. I prefer seafood over sausage. But like, I wouldn't say I'm fully gay, but like, yeah, that seems obvious to me. And when people are like, hey baby, and I'm like, the fuck? Is that what we're going down to? Like, you get like a 10% chance, bro, and this is the card you play, like, to convince me? Like, it's just not gonna work. Some other things, people think all I do is model on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
No, like I'm a hardware, mechanical hardware engineer. Like I don't just Vogue, like pose in front of and who's making money off Instagram besides prostitute escorts and ads? Nobody, and I'm none of those. So yeah, no, those would be quite obvious. What's the other one? I mean, I have so many degrees, but yeah, I just go in front of the camera all day, whatever. fucking pisses me off. Okay, something else that should be obvious that's not.
Yeah, like I have.
What about you?
I have a Jordan collection. I love collecting Jordans and Nike Dunks, so I have 53, 54 pair of them. I don't think that's obvious that I like collecting. I mean, I collect all kinds of shit, dude. Like,
you are a collector.
I collect everything.
But I can't really be throwing rocks at a glass house considering. Look at this room.
Yeah, look at what you got back there.
Look at this room. This is such a mixed nostalgia of nerd fuckery. I don't even know where to begin. I want to say there's at least 12 different fandoms going on right now. It is so chaotic back there.
Yeah, I think most people know that I've done photography for a while.
I think a lot of people don't realize that I have both ADHD and I'm autistic. Like I'm double neurospicy. So sometimes in social situations, or sometimes I've been told that I come off unapproachable. That's not it at all. I have no, like, to me being social, I'm just like, I'm outside of my house and I'm awkward as fuck. So I think that's it. I think a lot of people think that they mistake my silence or my resting bitch face as just being a pompous bitch, and it's not that at all. It's just I'm awkward, and what can I awkwardly info dump because I'm awkward in the situation. Like I will tell the most random facts. Like you didn't ask for it yesterday. We were working on a project, and I was like, "Let me tell you about the British monarchy."
Yeah, let me give you this full dissertation of the British monarchy and how it actually worked, and
how the Duke of Edinburgh
and the Duke of Edinburgh. Yeah.
Like,
how he became there. I mean, that was dope.
Dump.
That was dope. I liked it.
Info dump, and I've known you for a while, and I still awkwardly info dump.
Yep.
What about
I've athletics? Like I've grown up as an athlete, so I played basketball, football.
So you peaked in college,
in high school, yeah,
right.
yeah, and then basketball, football, and I threw the javelin in college.
You did?
Yeah, I learned how to throw the javelin.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was really interesting. There's a lot of technique involved in actually throwing a javelin.
So you threw your stick around a lot.
I did.
No, but like the javelin though, it's not like throwing a spear. Like you got to time it. There's a lot of physics to it actually. The weight of the javelin, the pace,
it's all in the hips.
Way.
It's all in the hips.
Well, that makes sense because it's like martial arts. Your hips.
Yep.
Which, speaking of, I've trained in martial arts for years. And what are some other random things?
Did you ever get knocked out?
No, but I did get hit in the nose. And that pisses me off. I can't train with females. I become exceptionally even more violent than what I already am. So my father and my sensei requested I just train with males in the group, and one of them whacked me in the nose. And
yeah, I didn't.
I've never moved so fast in my life.
I did Muay Thai kickboxing for a little while. Ooh. Sparring day sucked. You know, it's no fun getting punched in the face. I don't care what anybody says. Even if they're gloves, it doesn't matter.
No.
Your head gets snapped back.
No.
It's not good.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
Another thing is I'm a certified MIG welder.
Oh, yeah, you're a welder. That's right.
So, yeah, I've got a scar in my head, which you guys can probably see right around there, from when a piece of the slag came off when I was welding and went past my speed glass helmets, burned right through the beanie, and I was like, I'm on fire. And I felt it, so, yeah.
I ended up getting quarantined one time in China for 6 days when H1N1 was around. They took me out of my hotel room and I got sent to some shithole in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't know what was going to actually happen because nobody spoke English. They just took my passport away from me. And I ended up in this place for 6 days.
Oh, I would have pissed myself. They take my passport. I'm like, I'm never going home and seeing my family or kids.
That was wild. That was wild. So the hotel itself, it was just, I mean,
it's like a hostel.
It wasn't a hotel. Like it was like picture some broken down, like
warehouse,
Resident Evil looking thing that used to be a hotel, like broken windows, like all this shit. Yeah, no, like that. And so when I got into they took my passport and they sent me up this room, and it's really weird, right? Because you walk in and it's bright and shiny, and on the left side there's all this medical equipment. And the floor is shiny. Like people go over it and are cleaning the floor.
In a place that has broken windows.
Yeah. And then they take your passport and they send you to this room. So I got sent to a room. I open up the door and it is a wooden bed. You could tell that people had lived there in years, right? It was dirty, and that was it. And what's funny is I turned on the TV. There was an English channel. And I found that it was playing a loop because it would play like news, and then it would play this movie called You Got Served.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so You Got Served. I watched it every single day that I was there at that same time. So it was just
Oh, I
and
would
I
have
was getting,
pissed myself.
I mean, they would feed you nothing, dude. So I got like, the first meal I got was a plastic bag that had 2 slices of bologna, a couple slices of bread, and corn water. Corn water.
Corn water.
Corn water. Yeah. So that's kind of what we ate for that period of time. And they would come and take your temperature like periodically. Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, it was so wild. Like at one point I still had my phone at the time, right? And it was a BlackBerry. You guys remember the BlackBerry?
I remember those quite well.
So I sent a message to our office that was there, and I said, "Hey, I'm dying from this food, man. Can you guys do some shit, work your magic, and get some shit in here? Do like for me, like do something." So sure enough, there's a delivery that comes, and it's funny, and it was some fruit, flaming hot Cheetos,
Oh God.
and a 6-pack of Corona that they had sent. And apparently, I guess they had sent other stuff, but like the guards took the other food items and just kind of gave me those.
So they didn't want the Corona.
I didn't want they didn't fucking know what the Corona was, dude. So at least I had that. But we started bartering with the Japanese ladies across the way because they had some snacks. So we trade fruit for snacks. It started becoming really like, like you're in a prison.
How long were you in there
It
for?
was 6 days.
God, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah. No. That
was crazy.
Yeah. After that, dude, that was crazy. That's why I got this tattoo.
That makes
I'll show
sense.
It says, let's see if we can show it. It says freedom. So
You got it when you got out.
after I got out, I got this tattoo because I had to go back. I had to go back because we had to launch Wrath of the Lich King in China. So I had to go back a month later, and I wanted this to be my little fuck you, right? Every time I hand over my passport, it says freedom, right? That was just my little, like, yeah.
Suck on that.
Haven't been back since.
Oh, probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. That's such a great question. I think.
Yeah, that was a really, really good question.
All right, and the last one we have, which was quite interesting, it's a twofer.
A twofer.
It's a twofer.
Okay. Go for the twofer.
Somebody got creative here. So Winter Fox 06 wants to know what is your favorite gaming console
of all time?
All time. I mean, it wasn't specified, but let's say that what kickstarted it for you.
Kickstarted it. Okay.
What was
so two parts. Two parts. So my favorite, probably for the sheer variety of games that were out there and the type of games that were out there, the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That one's like hands down.
So for nostalgic purposes, we'll say
for nostalgia purposes, the Sega Genesis is probably my pick because there were just so many great games that I remember playing. But again, dude, like my cousin would bring over the Super Nintendo and he would leave it, and I would just play the shit out of that. The first one that I actually got that I put on layaway at Kmart and paid payments on it. All my, every time I pulled weeds, I get $5. Was the Atari 2600. And that one,
you got $5. I love that.
To get $5.
Pick up sticks.
And at that point, that console was like $99. So I had to, I had to work a long time to get it.
You were pulling it.
I was pulling it.
I think for me though, my favorite gaming console, kind of like the most memorable one, where like you said, there's a lot of variety of games came for it, was the PlayStation 2. I remember when that came. I mean, PlayStation 1, like my brothers had. I didn't get into it as much, but PlayStation 2 kind of like when it came out and the games that came out for it. So like ATV Off-Road Fury, Midnight Club, Need for Speed. Like when these games came out, there was like very, like at a point in my life that like, this is it. Like I loved them so much. It was just so memorable. But I think of all time, what started the whole gaming craze for me, it was like my dad had the NES. So like we had the original and we played like Legend of Zelda, but it was like cool thing that I did with like my dad. We compared how many container cards we had, build the map. Like we drew out our own map key and we literally would mark where there would be bomb here or burn here. And that was just kind of like, that's what we would do. But I think for me on my own Sega Genesis, which I actually still have the Sega Genesis that I had as a kid. I still have it, but mine actually had I had the cartridge, but also the one where you adapt the CD reader.
Oh, wow. Too. Yeah, the newer one.
Yeah, so I have all that.
Yeah, that was the
It's actually in my entertainment center. I
yeah,
mean, I
that
can
was the
show you
one that I
later.
played a lot with
I played the
friends.
crap out of it. That's like the first ornament that I got on the tree was from Hallmark, was the Sega Genesis, where you push it. Did a video of it. It's like sugar, and then it's like playing Sonic. It was just, I
Oh,
loved it
Sonic the
so
Hedgehog,
much.
man. I spent a lot of time playing Sonic.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. So you can imagine how excited it was when, in modern day, when Sonic 2 came out, I got invited to go to the premiere. And I'm literally at the premiere of Sonic 2, like, what is life? And Jim Carrey walks in. And so it's like one of those things where I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
I feel like I peak.
I think about the games that were on that platform,
Oh yeah,
right?
Altered Beast, I played Mortal Kombat 2 on that game, which obviously set the precedent of where Mortal Kombat like is in my life to
Yep.
me now currently.
There was Joe
So
Montana's Football,
yeah,
Madden came out at that point. Heroes of Might and Magic was another
yeah.
great game. NBA Jams. I mean,
Oh
there
yeah.
was just a lot of really good stuff that they created for
Right.
that one. But the PlayStation 2, in terms of like the amount of time it was out
Yep.
and all of the freaking games that it had were just
I feel
so
like
cool.
the amount of games that came out for the PlayStation 2, it's like compared to the PlayStation 5.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we got like what, maybe 20 games for the PlayStation length of the PlayStation 5's life cycle so far. We're up
Yeah.
to the Pro, so we're at 560 years
Yep.
in compared to what they did with PlayStation 2.
Yep. Nintendo 64 was an interesting one because that was like GoldenEye was the one I
So
spent so much time
we
playing.
never got that one.
Oh, you never got it.
So,
Okay.
well, my brothers got it, but I was already out like working and I didn't get to actually like enjoy it. Like I got to like see and watch and like do some things, but it wasn't until like if you go to like anything with like Mario Party and stuff where they have like the 64 that you can play for it, but like actually like having one, no, I missed getting involved in that one sadly.
Yeah, for the Atari 2600, I would when I got it, I would save to buy a cartridge. I put it on layaway, right? So, Phoenix, Missile Command, Galaga, freaking Pitfall was another one. I mean, there's just a bunch of just
Galaga's
you just
classic,
learn you just
though.
learn how to play a lot of these games, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have endings.
Well, I mean, Galaga reminded me of like when PC came out with the worm, and you had to go around and eat all the apples without your tail chasing
Oh yeah,
you.
Pac-Man.
Oh, Pac-Man was huge
Yeah,
too.
Pac-Man was massive. Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, I remember going to like, oddly enough, before my stepdad became my stepdad. I remember going to his house years prior because he worked with my family, and I remember going downstairs like after school. I'd go downstairs his like in his basement. I know this does sound creepy, but he had the old Pac-Man arcade, like the massive one.
Yeah.
So I'd have to wheel over like a bunch of milk crates, and I would just be down there playing constantly until mom came and got me. Like mom and dad came and got me. So
I think
I
that was
loved it.
that was another part of history was
the
the
arcades,
video arcades.
Oh, I love arcades. I love arcade bars.
Yeah,
I love video
because
arcades.
you couldn't play anything.
Speaking
I mean,
of that,
the
I
latest
mean,
stuff
like
were there.
behind you is the small arcade.
Yes.
You know, one up of Mortal Kombat. So
Mortal Kombat. We're gonna have to bust that out and
oh
play it.
god. Well, let me get it on
I
the
play
riser.
Sub-Zero.
We're gonna be like playing
I
on
play
the.
Sub-Zero. That's my character in Mortal Kombat.
Do you know?
Personally.
Speaking of that, do you know how hard it is to? I went with Bryce Pappenbrook one weekend, and we had to go like to the promoter's like family bar or whatever afterwards, and they had a bunch of these arcade games like lined up as like an arcade bar, and he challenged me to games of Mortal Kombat, and who am I to tell Aaron Yeager or
Right.
you know Inosuke Hachibira? Who am I to say no? Right? I was like, all right, like this twerp can't be that good, right? He would cheat, do the kick and sweep, and I'm like, you know,
Oh,
I can't
no.
yell, I can't get aggressive, and I can't be competitive, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm done.
You're gonna use that cheese move?
I'm
dude?
done,
What the
dude. He kept
fuck?
cheesing me left and right, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
You're like, sorry, I'm not gonna play it.
I can't. Nope. Different game.
Button mashers.
Different game. All right, this is not. I will beat the crap out of you, and this is going to end the professional relationship. Like, no. So I was
It's
like,
gonna be bad.
swim away.
Run, Forrest.
So the second part of the question is favorite retro game that had the biggest impact when younger. Ooh, we're getting the heavy hitter here. I'll sip to that tea.
Wow.
You still thinking on it?
Mario, I think Super Mario Brothers was a huge
Really?
one for me. just because I mean I spent so much time playing it, so many levels to get to, right? I spent an
Hmm.
entire summer playing Mario, and
Oh,
I
that
think
makes sense.
that spent. But in terms of like impact,
Yeah.
probably.
That like it's stayed with you and you're like, yeah, I want to make these for a living. Like
Oh
super
geez, I
impact.
mean there were so many of them, but like I would think that probably Heroes of Might and Magic was a big one for
Oh,
me because
I never played that one, but
that
I
was
heard
so
so much
good.
about it.
Shining Force, which is a
Yep.
JRPG, was really good. Just the storytelling and the narrative side of things, and then um, NBA Jams was another big one for me because it was sports, but it was also really fun, and it was something that you could play with your friends,
Right.
right? So that was very memorable. The games and the tournaments that we used to have that we used to self organize and play. So those ones had a pretty big form, just kind of formed how I viewed games and what
Mhm.
I wanted to do with games.
Oh yeah. I think for me, well, obviously it's going to be Legend of Zelda.
Zelda.
Playing with my dad, realizing that even though it was like a single player, we made it into like a little fun competition. Like I said, getting whoever could get the most heart containers,
Right.
doing the map together. Like we definitely kept it interactive where he would play, I'd watch him, I would play, he would watch me. So like we would turn it into our time together. So that was kind of something like that's one of the core memories like I have of my father and I
Right.
when I was younger. When it fast forward to PlayStation 2, um I was kind of adjusting, because I had raised my siblings for so long by myself, and my little brother is like one of my favorite people absolutely ever. Like he literally personality wise is a cross between like Pete Davidson. So imagine like Pete Davidson, like just but pretty boy. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that is literally my younger brother, and he's tall as fuck. So, but he is just a comedian and funny, and I was having a hard time with like our family splitting and adjusting and stuff. So I would literally kidnap him on a Friday and take him to my little teeny tiny studio, and we would order pizza and we would just go ham at each other with like ATV off-road fury,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
would just battle it out, or we would just be battling out like Gran Turismo. um we would just do a lot of PvP, and it was just so much fun. You can tell that like when him and I would get into racing, the tiz would be high for both of us because we would be leaning when we're turning the vehicles, and we'd go up and like it was just so much fun. So that was definitely something to me that I'll always hold dear. Like it's his favorite thing.
Yeah, as you
Still
get older
talks about
though,
it.
there's more impactful stuff, right? So Street Fighter 2 was another one that I just loved. I thought that was fantastic playing
Yeah.
playing against other people, putting your quarters down
You
at the
wanted
arcade
to play
machine.
against other
Oh
people?
fuck yeah, dude! I thought that was fantastic. Um, Half Life was another great game that kind of was super awesome. That Counter Strike came from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Counter Strike was another one that you just everybody played and still playing today, right? There's still a lot of people that play CS now, play CS:GO, so that's lasted a very long time.
Something modern though for me, I think. Well, just dominantly growing up in a male household
Yep.
and stuff. Like my father was playing Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah,
Brothers were
Doom,
playing COD.
Quake.
So like I definitely got into first person shooters
Hmm.
faster than I did RPGs. It wasn't till later in the life now that where I've switched to more JRPGs and RPGs because
Yep,
I can't play first person
yep.
shooters anymore just because of the jump scares and stuff or just affect me like affects my heart and shit. So I can't. But like at the time, like playing COD and doing competitions and doing things like that, or doing Battlefield at LAN parties.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I went to
Battlefield.
LAN
Yeah.
parties. We still talk about you LAN parties, and it was just like the coolest thing because I would build my own rigs and to be able to take them to LAN parties with people that would be playing the same thing was, I mean, it was pretty fucking cool. At the time. So
I also like the Neverwinter Nights. Neverwinter Nights was
mm,
good, or even the D&D series, the Pool of Radiance.
yeah.
Those were cool because you get to build out your characters. You got to go on these cool adventures.
Well, I mean, also like a memorable thing too is like EverQuest.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, EverQuest was like the coolest thing.
EQ,
And
yeah.
I remember I had one, my older stepbrother was so obsessed with EverQuest on dial up that he would just like 3 o'clock in the morning hear reactivating the internet because he had to restart it because he was sitting in the queue to go on this raid. And Like I'd be watching him and there's like all these people
Yep.
with his character, and then all of a sudden he'd be the only one. And I'm like, where'd everyone go? And he's like, God, I got kicked off. Who's
Right.
trying to call me? And then he'd have to go in again. And it was the most hysterical thing. So it's things like that that, gaming has impacted. So
Sure, it has impacted a lot of people's lives at
oh,
this
of
point.
course. Of course. So yeah, those are super good questions. And I feel like with retro gaming, I feel like there's so much to it. Like I just don't think at the time there wasn't any influencers, there wasn't anyone
No.
talking about it. So I don't feel like people really realize what we had back then.
Right.
And I think that
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
the gameplay, the
oh
design,
yeah.
there was so much to it.
There's so
People
much.
experimented a lot with different games and stuff, and there's such good. There's, I mean,
I
it's
don't know, man.
awesome.
I don't know, man. I think for nostalgia purposes, might have to dive into that.
I think so too. I think that there's a lot that we can bring to the current fandom
Well,
about retro games and just how cool they actually really
but
are.
imagine like stirring up the feels of like people that have like, oh my god, I played that game. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
Because I
So,
remember, dude, I remember playing Midnight Club. Oh, spent so much time playing that game. Racing
right?
games were badass.
Oh, I love racing games. I'm obsessed with that. I raced semi-professionally, so it's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Give me racing games all day long.
Yeah.
Take me out to the track. Let's go.
go.
Like let's go. Like doing it in real life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Did it in real life. So, a couple of years ago, I went out to the BMW track in Palm Springs, and I got to race every model around the track with the actual front stunt drivers that were like set up. Oh my god. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
They
That's
were
really
just
cool.
set up. The suspension was set up in the back. You could just drift right around those corners. You could just throw it. I mean, the weight for a BMW is absolutely perfect. When you're comparing the frame to the full chassis system to everything, it just you get the little specs dialed in, and you can get a screamer out of it.
I think we
so
should go to more cons that are retro.
I think
I
so
think that'd be
too.
kind of cool, just to kind of see what the scene
So I
is
can
like.
so you can just record me going, oh my god, look
I
at
know
this!
this
First time
game.
ever.
I remember this game. La la la.
Oh my god, I forgot about this one.
This is so cool. I want to buy it.
Right? That's that. Yep, that's me. Story of my life. Added back to the wall of doom back here.
Yeah, no. Then eventually that
Yeah.
wall of doom would become another wall of doom, and it would
No,
just
it's
be all
not.
games,
No, it's not.
all retro
It's
games.
it's all pretty
All
much
retro
working
games.
that way anyway. But yeah, no, we appreciate those. So we're just doing 4 questions today. But if you guys have any others, do drop us a line. Put it on the comment if you want us to answer
Yeah,
something,
absolutely.
comment something, explore something. Don't show the booty hole, Loki. That's for a wrong stream. And that's not the cat. Only cats. That's not the only cat stream.
Cat stream.
Only beans. Only
The only
beans.
bean stream.
But
Yeah, let us
just
know.
let us
Like, yeah,
know.
absolutely. We'd love to answer more questions that you have that you're curious about.
Yeah, and dive into more stuff that you guys want to know about. So that's
Absolutely.
our jam, man. So thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys have a fantastic week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment,
Click the button.
click it.
Woohoo.
Don't double click it too much. Anyway,
And on that note, y'all, thank
cheers
you.
out. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Push the button.
Oh, shit.